Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling perhaps the most persistent, most stubborn, and frankly kind of the scariest statistic in Japanese real estate.
The 30-year rule.
That's the one.
It really is the factoid that, it frightens off foreign investors. And it just baffles people who are used to, say, North American or European housing markets.
Right.
This idea that you buy a house in Japan, and no matter how well it's built, the actual building loses basically all of its recorded asset value within, 20 to 30 years?
It just hits zero on the balance sheet.
Proof done.
And when people hear that, they immediately jump to the big obvious culprits. They assume it's the crushing humidity or the constant threat of earthquakes, maybe just wood rot.
Sure, it must be something environmental.
Yeah.
Geological flaw.
But the research we dug into for this, it reveals a far more, nuanced truth. While those things are pressures, for sure, they're not the root cause. The real systemic issue that's destroying home value in Japan is, believe it or not, financial. It's almost completely divorced from the quality of the wood.
Okay, so that's the big insight then. The research points to a single killer, and it's a concept they call maintenance poverty.
Exactly.
Wait, so hold on. You're saying it's not the environment, but it's, poor personal financial planning that systematically kills the value? How does that work?
It's this vicious cycle that's been driven by culture for decades. The ideal, the emotional goal was to build a custom dream home. So you're thinking complex architectural visions, unique roof lines, maybe huge open atriums, one-of-a-kind materials. The owner stretches their budget to the absolute financial limit to get that vision.
So they get the dream home right away.
Yeah.
But they pay for it with total financial exhaustion.
Precisely. Because they've maxed out the loan, spent every last yen on the initial complex build, they have no cash left. And the problem is the non-glamorous maintenance starts immediately. We're talking resealing exterior walls, repainting, critical roof checks, dealing with the inevitable small leaks.
And if that money isn't there, the house just gets neglected. That's the poverty part of maintenance poverty.
Yes. The owner is financially tapped out, the house starts to absorb water, small leaks become big problems, rot sets in, and the structural integrity just degrades, not because the wood was bad, but because the owner couldn't afford to keep the weather out.
So the value doesn't disappear because of some inherent flaw in Japanese building. It disappears because the owner, they basically drive the asset into the ground out of financial exhaustion.
It's a tragedy of neglect, not poor construction. It's this brutal paradox. Chasing the dream home pretty much guarantees the financial destruction of that very dream.
Wow. Okay, so that's the core finding.
That's it. So our mission today is to uncover the solution, and the answer is, it's completely counterintuitive. You have to abandon the romantic custom build idea entirely.
So what's the alternative?
The strategy that provides superior long-term financial stability is to treat the house like a rigorously engineered, mass-produced industrial product.
We are talking about the category of house known as tatayuri.
Exactly. The ready-built home, the spec home, which we are going to frame today as, the boring financial fortress. It's a standardized, factory precision built house sold as a package with the land.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's start with why the custom approach is so risky. You're calling it the prototype problem.
That's it. In engineering, a prototype is always a high-risk, high-cost thing. And a custom-built home is, by its very definition, a prototype, a one-off.
Right. An architect draws up a totally unique structure, and the local builders, the carpenters, they've never built that exact configuration before.
It sounds amazing on a magazine cover, doesn't it? But in reality, it means the first owner is paying a premium price to basically be a guinea pig for an untested design.
And that's where the complexity risk really bites you. Think about what a house needs to do. At its core, it needs to resist gravity and shed water.
That's it.
So every complex feature, a roof that changes angle 3 times, a fancy stucco finish, weird window placement, every single one is a potential point of failure. It inherently increases the risk of bugs.
And the most costly bug in housing is, without question, a rain leak.
Always. So if you choose complexity, you are paying a premium to find the hidden leaks that the architect and builder missed on their first try. The cost of that complexity falls on the homeowner, who then has zero money left to fix the problems.
That risk model just flips completely when you look at the other end of the market, which is dominated by these industry giants.
Right, you're talking about companies like the EDA Group.
The scale is just astonishing. They supply roughly 40,000 houses a year. I mean, do the math on that. That's over 100 houses per day.
Wow.
They are not building prototypes. They are running a manufacturing pipeline.
They're building the same core structural designs thousands and thousands of times a year. And that repetition allows them to just eliminate errors, refine the construction process to the millimeter, and get maximum efficiency. They're manufacturing experts, not bespoke artists.
So if the custom house is the problem, how do these mass-produced homes actually solve it? I think that brings us to the structural advantage, or why boring is gold.
Exactly. The research really highlights the absolute structural superiority of simplicity. Physics favors the simple box.
And when you look at a typical Tatayuri from a company like EDA Group, it is simple, it's boxy, it's designed to be built fast, cheap, and easily. I mean, architecturally, it's often considered extremely boring.
But that's why it's a financial fortress. Structurally, a simple box is the strongest possible shape against lateral forces, which is what an earthquake delivers.
They prioritize physics over design taste.
They have to. By having an uncomplicated standardized design, they dramatically minimize the surface area where leaks can start and maximize the house's stability. It's just pure, unadulterated load-bearing efficiency.
And this structural discipline, it leads to a really surprising detail, especially given the perception that these Tatayuri are cheap. These spec homes usually achieve the highest structural resilience. They meet seismic grade 3.
And seismic grade 3 is not just a high rating, it is the top tier in Japan. It means the building is designed to stay operational, structurally sound, even after a massive earthquake that might level everything around it.
This is the same standard required for essential infrastructure, like hospitals, police stations, fire departments.
So buildings that have to remain standing to help with disaster recovery.
Exactly. You're basically buying the same fundamental structural resilience as a government emergency service building, just, wrapped in a 2-story box.
This is where the analogy for you, the listener, really clicks. You are buying the reliable, globally tested, proven Toyota Corolla. If you need a door handle or a brake pad, millions of identical parts exist. It's standard, it's predictable, the engineering is proven.
And the custom prototype home, that's the hand-built, bespoke concept car. It might look stunning, but if a unique sensor fails...
You wait 6 months and pay a 500% premium for a part that only one person in the world can build. The maintenance for the Corolla is easy and affordable. The maintenance for the concept car is a financial black hole.
The boring choice is the smart choice, because the engineering is tested and the maintenance is predictable. That simplicity ensures the structure can handle everything the Japanese climate throws at it, as long as you can keep the outside sealed.
Which brings us directly to how they make sure you can keep it sealed. That standardized, boring approach translates directly into superior financial stability. Our third part, the wholesale financial edge.
Right. The key here is scale and supply chain mastery. If the core problem is maintenance poverty, the solution has to be preventing it in the first place by keeping that initial cost dramatically low.
And the massive scale of manufacturing is what lets them do it. When the EDA Group buys materials, they're doing it for 40,000 houses a year.
Think about that. They're buying industrial quantities of everything. Toilets, baths, kitchens, windows, siding, even the nails.
They command true wholesale pricing. That's leverage that no custom architect or local builder can ever match. And that discount gets passed right to the buyer,
making the initial sticker price dramatically lower, sometimes half of what a custom build in the same neighborhood would cost.
What's fascinating is that the buyer often ends up with high-tech, modern equipment. Things like instant hot water systems or those amazing Japanese self-filling baths.
Oh, those are the best.
They come standard, basically just because the cost of buying 40,000 of them makes them almost free in the context of the total bill.
So let's put some numbers on this to make it tangible. Let's say a custom prototype home costs, $300,000 or 40 million yen. The buyer has to max out a 35-year mortgage. Their monthly payment is punishingly high.
Oh, okay.
Now, you take the equivalent land and structure, but you buy it as a Tatayuri for, say, $150,000 or 20 million yen. Your mortgage is instantly cut in half.
And that difference in the monthly payment, that $500, $800, maybe $1,000 you are not paying to the bank, that is the crucial reserve.
Yes.
The low initial cost immediately lets the owner start building that necessary cash reserve for future upkeep. They are proactively building a maintenance savings account from day one.
You're investing in your house's future by refusing to spend all your money on its vanity today. That financial discipline is the foundation. But, okay, we still have to address the ticking clock. A house will eventually depreciate, and that 30-year rule still looms.
And this is where we shift from prevention to the ultimate longevity strategy. This final step is how the smart owner overcomes that systemic depreciation problem. This is the Galvalium cover method.
Galvalium. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's a durable, lightweight industrial metal alloy. It's mostly aluminum and zinc, and it's designed for extreme durability and weather resistance.
So the strategy recognizes that the fundamental structure of the house is sound, right? It's seismic grade 3.
Exactly. It's the exterior envelope, the roof tiles, the siding. That's what degrades and causes the value to plummet.
Right. So fast forward 15, maybe 20 years. The custom prototype owner is financially ruined. Their house is leaking, neglected, probably on its way to becoming an Akian abandoned house.
But the boring box owner has their maintenance savings reserve ready to go.
And they don't waste that money tearing off the old roofing and siding, which is a massive, expensive, wasteful process.
No, instead they use the genius of the cover method. They take that savings reserve and they basically wrap the entire house in a new, durable skin.
They put a new, lightweight Galvalium metal roof right over the old one. The material is so light it barely needs any structural modification.
And at the same time, new metal siding is attached right over the old walls.
It's literally putting a durable, modern suit of armor on the house. The whole exterior is revitalized. It often makes the house look incredibly modern, with those metallic finishes and sharp lines. It looks brand new.
And more importantly, it's now sealed tight for another 3 decades. And this is the financial magic trick. Because Galvalium is so durable, this high-impact, low-waste transformation effectively resets the clock on the house's useful life.
You took an asset that was approaching its depreciation limit and you renewed it using smart, maximized maintenance spending. You kept it watertight and marketable. It's a perfect synergy.
It is. The simple structure of the Takayuri allowed for the low initial cost.
And that gave you the financial flexibility for this cost-effective, high-impact maintenance strategy down the road.
The Toyota strategy is really a complete philosophy. The goal isn't romance, it's avoiding the money pit of a custom build. The goal is structural integrity married to a sound financial strategy.
The core wisdom here is that in an environment as challenging as Japan's, with earthquakes and typhoons, financial success comes from recognizing a simple truth. Physical laws do not care about your design taste.
They care about structural integrity, and simplicity wins.
You keep your initial costs low, you maintain your house robustly, and you beat the 30-year rule by prioritizing long-term capital over short-term vanity.
It truly teaches us that sometimes the best investment is the one that looks the most standardized and, boring on the surface.
So, since the whole Takayuri strategy is about minimizing initial costs to maximize your maintenance budget, here is a provocative thought for you to carry forward. Consider where else in your life or your business you might be paying a prototype premium today. That steep cost of complexity, of uniqueness, that might be quietly undermining your long-term stability and creating a future maintenance poverty problem.
That's a principle that goes far beyond housing, that's for sure.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thank you for joining us.